Hi guys, so we're here with Dr. Paul Sant, and would you like to just introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely, Callum. So my name is Paul Sant. I'm the Head of School of Computer Science and Technology here at the University of Bedfordshire. I'm really glad to be talking to everyone today.
Great, and let's just start off by what courses can you offer?
We have a really wide range of courses here at the University of Bedfordshire. So all over a School of Computer Science and Technology, we go from everything around artificial intelligence and robotics, so little guys like here, or some of our drones, which we'll talk a little bit about later on, all the way through to those who want to program using Python or working with Raspberry Pis, and right the way through now to some of our new engineering courses in mechanical and automotive engineering, and even to construction.
Okay, and a big part of computer science and technology must be the facilities. So would you just like to delve into that for everyone that doesn't know?
Absolutely. Well, we're sitting in some of our facilities at the moment. So we're sitting here in our Maker Lab. So we have behind us the 3D printers where we can print off elements like Otto here, which you can access from thingiverse.com, which brings together electronics as well as 3D printing. We also have a purpose-built automotive and mechanical engineering lab. We have electronics labs where students can get up, down and close and personal with electronics like Arduino. And we have, of course, the traditional computer science labs where we have people who might be doing some networking. So they might be working with network switches and cupboards and lots of cables to set up their own private networks. Or they might be working on our new fantastic 3D facility that we have launched in the last year.
Great, and out of everything that you've got here, what would you say to students come in, or students starting in September? What should they look forward to most?
Everything that we have here, so they shouldn't be afraid to explore, to experiment, to work with different types of students. Just because you might be doing computer science or information technology or automotive engineering doesn't mean that you can't work together on group projects. Maybe you're looking at developing the new electric car out there and bringing together computer scientists with engineers.
Brilliant. And within the department, what expertise and what backgrounds do the academics bring to students?
Well, we have a really wide range of backgrounds. So we have those who've come up through a traditional academic route, maybe done a PhD, and then come in straight into teaching, as well as those, for example, in automotive engineering. Rex Keane is one of our lecturers, and he has over 20 years experience in the motorsport industry.
Brilliant. And what would you say that would be, what can students learn from their time at the University of Bedfordshire with you?
That there is no limit. Okay, so they can explore, they can break things, they shouldn't be worried about things. If they don't work the first time, never give up. Okay, and it's going to be an absolute blast.
And what links do you have with employers? So after they finish their course, what can they do afterwards, and what employability skills do they have whilst they come through university?
Okay, so we talk about employers. We work with, for example, BWI here in Luton around automotive. We also have a blossoming relationship with Geltech, which is an electronic engineering firm in the local area. And we also work very closely with Infosys, which is a very famous multi-billion-pound global company. In terms of employability skills, it's not just about the technical skills. It's very much about the forward-facing skills, the practical skills, the personal skills, not being afraid to work in a team, not being afraid to let it go and have to perhaps relax a little bit and allow somebody else to do some of the work, and really about developing those technical and those business skills and having both in an abundance.
You just finished there on what skills that they can develop here. Just elaborate on what sort of skills that they would be able to develop at that time.
Yeah, so absolutely. So we run hackathons, for example, where we get our coding students to work with our cybersecurity students to develop web applications. And if we're talking about automotive and mechanical engineering and electronic students coming together, be that through the Institution for Engineering Technology, be that through the Institution of Mechanical Engineers, working together on projects. So they might, for example, recondition an engine. We have a team of students each year who go into the Formula Student Competition, where they create their own racing car. They may develop some of the components of that. So it may be the engine, it may be the crankshaft, it may be the body and the aerodynamics that they're working with.
Brilliant. And also, guys, if you do have any questions yourself, do just get them down in the comment section, and we'll be able to get back to you as soon as we can. And what should the students, what advice would you give to the students before they come to university?
Come and just experiment. Don't be afraid to learn things new. Don't be afraid to go outside your comfort zone, and just believe in yourself.
brilliant. And 2 seconds. What are the examples of students' work that you have in front of us here?
Okay, so we have a couple of examples of student work. So as I mentioned before, this is Otto. Otto is a 3D printed robot, so has an ultrasonic sensor at the front here that can determine the distance between Otto and a solid object, for example, the wall that we have here. We have in here some servo motors that allow his legs to move, and then, of course, the all-important power in order for him to be able to work. And then if I just take a look in front of me here, so this is an example of some of our students' work around 3D printed drones. So this is a very simple drone. You can 3D print out the parts. You can see here the propellers. We turn the propellers on. We should hopefully see some of those propellers spin around. And if we get them all going, then potentially the drone lifts off the floor, and it's all powered through a wireless power bank. What else do I have? One final piece of resistance. Here we have a 3D printed keyboard. So here, if you want to be able to work with a 3D printed keyboard, you can get the designs off thingiverse.com. You can buy this component and make it for about £30.
Oh, brilliant. And what would you say is one of the coolest pieces of equipment that you have here at university? What do you like using the most?
Okay, so well, what I like using the most, so we've got a Dalek that is controlled and a part of a project that we have with our students, and also the Rolls-Royce replica engine that we have in there that our students can work and see how a real engine is put together and the different components.
Oh, brilliant. Cool. Do we have any questions? And overall, what would you say? What would you say is the best part of the whole course? What is the overall best part of the whole course?
The best part of the whole course has to be our annual poster day, where we bring together all of our third-year students. We get them to present their work. They get a chance to work with employers and, of course, to win that all-important prize at the end. Perhaps that's a job, perhaps that's an Amazon voucher, but also about the experience that they get in the future industry that they're going to work in.
And what is it like in the studio of the STEM building?
So we've got a new motion capture studio, which allows us to do some 360 video. So it allows us to take video from all around the objects. So when you see those videos and those films that are working on the TV, where you're watching Game of Thrones, etc., a lot of that is computer-generated graphics. We have 3D motion capture suits that allow us to capture the movements of people, and then we can transfer that into a piece of software and make a moving character using something like Maya or 3D Studio Max, and then get it into production using, for example, Adobe After Effects.
And are those skills that students will be able to take into after university? So how would that be with employability afterwards? So
yeah, absolutely. So all of the tools that we use here at the University of Bedfordshire in our school are industry standard. So the tools that they will use and learn on their course are things that they will be very familiar with when they come to applying for their job. And of course, it also helps them develop portfolios that they can put out onto, for example, Vimeo.com, which a lot of creative industry employers actually use to recruit their talent from.
Brilliant. And what sort of careers do the students go into afterwards?
A really wide variety of careers. And the great thing about computing is you don't just have to be a coder. You could be working in cybersecurity. You could be working in networking. You could be working for BMW on their next embedded system for their electric car. So essentially, the careers are endless, and you don't just have to work for a big IT firm like Google or Microsoft. You could find yourself working in the car industry. You could find yourself working in business. You could find yourself working in finance, for example.
Brilliant. Cool. And just one final question is, one final question is, what are the best parts of the equipment that you've been able to make here? So out of everything that we've shown and we've done, what are the best parts of the equipment that we've made?
Those ones that make the students most happy. So often it's a model, so it could be, as I said, a drone, it could be a car that they built, for example. It's really, in terms of those best bits, it's the work that the students have produced, that they produce as part of their coursework, that they produce as part of their course, and that they can demonstrate to industry.
Brilliant. Cool. And if you guys do have any further questions after this video, don't hesitate to get in touch. There should be a sign just up there which tells you the website and the mobile number. So don't hesitate to get in touch. And on Instagram, just have a look at the link in our bio, and we'll be able to get back to you as soon as we can.
And if I could give one piece of advice to students out there on their course, don't be afraid to look into the course, find something that you're really going to enjoy, and think about what is the end goal, what's the job that you think you want to be able to develop, and see how the course fits with that and your aspirations.